Thank you. I can remember a time when energy wasn't necessarily political. Maybe that was a long, long time ago. But I was standing over here and looking at the audience before I was invited up. And it strikes me as I look out, the young energy, and no pun intended with a tie towards the energy, but really it is so important. It is so important that as we think about the future of America's energy, it really revolves around young people who are looking and defining what that energy future is for us. And so I'm so appreciative of Chris for all that you do to promote solid energy policy, but policy that's going to take us into the future, not just where we are today, but moving forward. And so your focus on clean energy and what that means, what that brings for us, how you work to advance it is so important. We're here at kind of a difficult time. Maybe my greeters this morning just kind of manifest that a little bit. But you know, the real reality that we're facing right now is this is not necessarily the happiest year on record for clean energy. You've got some headwinds that you're facing. You've lost policy support at the federal level. Not really sure on any given day what the day is going to hold, what orders may be given, what projects may be impacted. And that's hard when you have that kind of uncertainty within an industry, within your sector. It's not just unfortunate. I think it's unfair. I think it's certainly counterproductive. And yet, this is where we are. So know that the work that you do is important. I'm proud of the work that we were able to do on the Energy Act a couple years back, what we were able to do with the bipartisan infrastructure bill. I acknowledge I didn't vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, but there were some good, solid things within that. And so making sure that we're building off of the good, solid things that come through various parts of legislation, working towards a future where all forms of domestic energy are more abundant. This is what we're talking about. But we're at a place, again, where I say it's hard. Instead of building on the work, we're having to push hard to minimize some of the damage to it. And so you're going to hear from some good folks. There were several that were recognized last night at the reception. But there's a good core group of us in the Senate that have been working on some of these recent challenges. Senator Curtis, Senator Tillis, Senator Grassley, and Senator Ernst. We have been working to preserve federal credits for most clean technologies, creating the longest runway that we could for wind and solar. I made it a specific mission to eliminate the punitive excise tax that appeared literally out of nowhere at the last minute. Had to get rid of those. But that was several months ago. Then our group continued the work in pushing Treasury to not undermine the deal that we had worked to develop on that budget reconciliation. I think we were able to move the needle a little bit to get us to a little bit better place. And I know it doesn't feel like much to come here and say, well, it could have been worse. That's not my message today. What I'm here to assure you is that it will get better. It will get better. And the reason I'm so confident of that is just looking at the fundamentals, the cold, hard facts of new industries that are emerging to create more demand for electricity than ever before. Of a strained grid where reliability can only be protected if we build out more of everything that we have and we do it as fast as we can. And of rapidly rising electricity prices where the solution to all of this is more power and not less power. So if I've learned anything during my years as I focus on energy and natural resources, it's that nothing competes with cost, and nothing changes minds and policies like rising prices. And I've also learned, or perhaps maybe I've just always known this, but there are good ways and there are some bad ways to address prices. And the worst thing that we can do is take the resources off the table. That was a bad idea for fossil fuels, and it's a bad idea for clean energy. Nothing good will come from halting already permitted, nearly complete projects like we saw with Revolution Wind. This summer, I saw a report that solar has accounted for 77.7% of the new capacity that was added to the US grid this year. 77%. Wind has accounted for 18%. So together, between the wind and solar, that's 96% of the new generation that's been added in 2025. Now, we can certainly balance that a bit, particularly as we're working on legislation to tap into more of our very abundant hydropower, our geothermal resources. We also need to maintain a focus on advanced nuclear, on carbon capture, fusion. There's so many promising technologies that are out there. I have long maintained, in fact, I actually had a bumper sticker that was made up at some point in time, and it just was, energy is good. That's all you need. You don't need any more fancy slogans and phrases, and any company that wants to take it, you just let me know. But energy is good, and all energy is good, particularly when we have a diverse mix and each resource can maximize its contribution to the whole. And to achieve this, you have to have both policy and policy execution. It's one thing for us to tell you what the policy is, have an administration tell you what the policy is, but you've got to have that execution that delivers the certainty. We need the certainty to draw the investment across the board. And so this is where I come down in saying the best path forward is truly an all of the above path. And Heather and I were talking just last evening, and she said that she'd been in several different interviews where the whole topic was, is an all of the above policy dead? And I'm telling you, please no, that is not the direction for us to be going. We should not retreat from an all of the above policy. It cannot just be empty rhetoric. It has to be a steadfast commitment to what our energy system should look like and how we should go about building it. Right now, I think the federal government is again departing from that all-of-the-above approach, particularly for wind and solar. Some things we know have changed for the worse, but others haven't, and it's equally critical to recognize that. So I'm going to leave you with a provocative thought here. The federal opportunity on the wind and solar, the clean energy side, may be diminished right now, but the market opportunity is massive. Even with less federal support, what clean energy can tap into is virtually unparalleled. And I think we've seen with CRESS this week, the American people get it. They're with you. Americans, including Republicans, broadly support clean energy. You've seen that in your numbers, and I think that that's important to just reinforce. So this is not a moment or a time to doubt yourself, but to really demonstrate that resilience, prove the skeptics wrong here. And so maybe that means doing things just a little bit differently. Maybe you have to rethink the advertising approach. Maybe you need to rethink your, I don't know, your bumper stickers. I don't know. Don't ask me for advertising advice, but I am going to urge you to keep pushing ahead, keep advancing the clean energy projects, and know that as you do, I'm going to be with you, right there at your side, supporting you. I'm honored to work in this space. I've been in the Senate now for more than a few years, and I've been privileged to serve on the Energy and Natural Resources Committee for the full length of that time. I'm termed out as both ranking and chairman of the committee, so that tells you how long I've been doing it. But I think the moment that we are at right now in this country, when we look to, again, this incredible demand for energy, this demand for molecules that are out there, if that doesn't cause all of you to just stretch your imagination and say, what's next? What's next that's going to allow us to meet this in a way and a manner that is head-on, demonstrating our resolve, demonstrating our ingenuity in these spaces that we have long led on. And we will continue to lead in all forms of energy, whether they are what we know today or what will be coming tomorrow. So thanks for what you're doing. Thank you for your focus, and keep on keeping on. Thanks much.